Hello everyone, I'm Krasi and I will be talking about the comet Neowise. I received many requests from you to discuss the significance of this comet and how the comet will be influencing us. Now I will be looking from mundane perspective, which would say how this comet will influence us as a whole, the humanity. This is not to be looked at from individual horoscopic perspective, but we'll be really looking how the appearance of a comet, which appears only once in, I think, 6,770 or 6,800 years. So how this comet will be influencing us. It is this conversation is really relevant now because just now, this day and yesterday, the comet was at its peak of visibility. So she's perfectly visible with the naked eye, and you can see the comet before the rise of the sun. This would say we need to wake up like maybe 2 hours before the sun rises, and then we'll be seeing the comet. I would like to give you my ancient Babylonian perspective, how the Babylonians would look at the comet. And of course, there are many factors that we need to analyze, which are known from the traditional astrology. Ptolemy, for example, is talking about the colors, about how the tail, where the position of the tail, where the tail is pointing at, the direction of the tail. And we know, interestingly, that the tail of the comet is always trying to be away from the sun. So it is the opposite direction of the sun. But this is just one interesting point. We know that the comet are real physical celestial bodies. They're not just a dust or a cloud, or they are not due to any atmospheric conditions. The colors are, yes, due to the atmospheric conditions of the different locations on Earth, but the colors, indeed, the color of a comet is very important. What is really significant, according to the Babylonians, was the appearance of the comet. And I will show you the chart in a moment, and I will tell you what I think it means, the appearance of a comet. According to the ancient Babylonian astrology, which is the first known to humanity astrology, there are even evidences of contemporary researchers that even the Vedic astrology originates from Babylon. So according to the Babylonian astrologers, there are 3 celestial paths, like imagine 3 highways on the sky, and there is a very specific mathematical way to calculate these celestial paths. And I have calculated that the appearance of the comet Neowise took place in the path of Enlil. So these 3 paths are named after the 3 main divinities of the mentioned in the ancient Babylonian mythology, and these 3 divinities are Anu, Enlil, and Ea. These are like the the divinities which are behind the creation of humanity and Earth. So these 3 divinities are ruling the 3 celestial paths. I will not, maybe in another video, I will explain you only about the celestial paths, but these paths exist and they have amazing importance when we look at eclipses, when we look at any celestial event, an appearance of a star or comet or a planet. So what we know now is that the comet appears on the 2nd of Nisan, which is the lunar month. The 2nd of Nisan is the first lunar month of the year, the most important month of the year. What is this meaning? You know, when I was, probably if you watched my predictive video, which was about the year 2020 and what to expect from the 2020. And then I was explaining that the year begins with the appearance of the first lunar crescent before the sun enters the point of the vernal equinox, and this is the month of Nisan. So this was either end of February, or according to the Babylonians, this was the first lunar crescent, which appears after the sun enters the point of the vernal equinox, which was 26th of March. And the comet appeared on the 27th of March. 27th of March. This was 2nd of Nisan. And what we know, according to the most famous, if you want, and well-known Hermetic laws, is that the beginning of every cycle is describing the whole cycle. So what we saw is that the comet appeared just in the beginning of the celestial lunar year, and this comet will be showing the atmosphere, if you want, and will be giving information about the whole year. This is so important. Another thing which is known to the month of Nisan is that the month of Nisan in ancient Babylon used to rule Akkad. What is Akkad? This is Babylon. The city of Babylon is Akkad, the central city. It's like New York now, or Paris. It was so, the world knew about Akkad. So if we look at our contemporary geographical correspondence to the month, to the city of Akkad, this is Europe. So what is this saying? That this appearance of the comet will have direct influence on Europe. And then it comes the question, what influence? Well, let's look at the color. The color of the comet, depending on how you see it, actually, we can argue here a bit maybe. From some locations, people would see it white. Other locations, they would see it a little bit of orange yellow. Others say that the tail had magenta color, which is color associated with the high vibrational energies of the chakras, if you want, of the human chakras. In any case, I see it as a mixture of spiritual awakening of humanity, which is a fact even before the 27th of March 2020. We were on a path of spiritual awareness, awakening, but this comet is like pointing towards this direction even more. And of course, the comets, since we exist, are considered to be ominous, very much ominous, because they just appear like that and they also disappear like that. So the comet was detected by NASA on the 27th of March. It is visible now with the naked eye, and it will be visible until the end of July, maybe, because the comets are unpredictable. Maybe this comet can disappear exactly as it appeared. However, it may also stay longer. On the night sky, we may be able to see the comet even in the beginning of August, but for sure it is influencing us now, and it will have some sort of impact for the year 2020. Why? Because symbolically it appeared in the month of Nisan, and every beginning is describing the whole year, the whole process, if you want. So the beginning of every cycle is describing the whole cycle. This is one of the main Hermetic principles of the universe. So month of Nisan, we said the comet is appearing. According to the ancients, the comets are, like we said, ominous. They associated with negative impacts like diseases, possible change of the king or the ruling class, possible climate changes, and I do not mean here the scam that you get from the media, like that the temperatures on Earth are increasing. These are natural processes and phenomena. The comets oftentimes bring floodings or just different natural disasters. They are in any case not considered positive. However, since this comet in particular, due to this magenta color which can be seen on the tail, and the yellowish colors as well, not really very red martial colors, the yellow color is also associated with with Jupiter, with the Sun, with even according to to Ptolemy, with Venus when it comes to comets. So I think there will be a mixture, a complex mixture of influences, some of which will not be good because the comets appear suddenly and where. I will show you the horoscope in a moment and we'll show you what the horoscope means. But this is the color. And then, so the influences is about possible hostilities, and this is historically what the comets used to bring, because I was looking at past historical events of the Halley's comets and others. They usually bring riots, diseases indeed. But I would rather not look at the negative impact. I would look at the reason why this comet is appearing now. And maybe you are tired of, like I am already, by the negative events, the complex events of the year 2020. We all are. And maybe if we switch off the televisions, we will not hear about these fake stories. But realistically, what is really part of our reality is the awakening which is taking place, and the whole media which is trying by all means necessarily to suppress it. The awakening, and this comment is like a messenger of this process of awakening which will be going through, which will happening through the whole year of 2020 up until the end, up until the next month of Nisan, up until next of March. So awakening plus some riots because of the complex yellowish orange martial colors, plus some justice which Jupiter is bringing due to these yellow orange colors. So this is one thing. And now before I show you the horoscope, to mention other things which are not visible in the horoscope. Like I mentioned, there are the 3 celestial paths, and they're really very clearly defined on the sky. These celestial paths are extremely important. We look at every star's appearance, in which path is appearing, and then the influence of the star is influenced by the path of appearance. So, like I said, this Neowise comet appeared on the path of Enlil, the 3 celestial paths of Anu, Enlil, and Ea. Enlil is also responsible for Akkad, and this is month of Nisan, responsible for Akkad, the path of Enlil, responsible for Akkad, and this is Europe. So this, the whole world will experience the energies, will feel the energies of the appearance of this comet, but Europe the most. So even in the future, up until end of March 2021, the whole world will be influenced by the eclipses and the comets, but the Europe the most. Now, the name Europe will be heard in the media the most. This is for sure, and the comet is showing this. Because of the appearance of the comet on the path of Enlil and on the 1st of Nisan. Now, I'm sharing my screen with you also to show you the horoscope, to try to be a bit more specific here. This is the horoscope of the appearance of the comets, of the comet Neowise. The comet appeared here on the 8th. This chart is not showing the comet because logically it doesn't exist in the program, but I know it appeared in the 8th degrees of Cancer. Now, Hermes is saying that these degrees, particularly the 8 degrees of Cancer, 8 and 9, are considered stormy, and they bring floodings and rains. And they are stormy also in terms of, symbolically speaking, in terms of the influences that they bring in the lives of people. But if you see, imagine that here in the 8 degrees of Cancer, you see the comet appearing and the projected stars on it. You also see Mars, Saturn appearing, square of the moon, and this is a square of Uranus. So we've got here a T-square, so to say. The comet Mars, Saturn, and also Moon and Uranus. The beautiful thing is that Venus, even though a bit weak because she's detriment, Venus in this very moment is softening the influences. So we've got the helping hand of Venus, but this is not enough. This is a serious situation on the sky. Comet receiving the tense opposition of Mars and Saturn, and also Moon and Uranus. We are talking here about the events that we see, like the events that we see are um, originated from many other factors, like the Saturn-Jupiter conjunction, let me stop sharing this, Saturn-Jupiter conjunction also, which happened around just shortly ago. We had Jupiter-Pluto conjunction. We had all these heavy eclipses in conjunction, which influenced the whole year. But disappearance of the comet and the horoscope of the comet is showing that we will be going through, and we are already since the beginning of the year, we are going through a hard process on the path of our awakening. And this process involves what we see, suppression of human rights, because you imagine we have Mars and Saturn, which are squaring the moon, which are the people, our feelings, consciousness, and then we have the comet, which is the messenger, also suppressed. So I see this as a bit of a hard process on the path of our awakening. And also every single event celestial is allowed, and it is has very wise and reasonable meaning, and it's allowed by the creator. So we should see only good in this messenger, the comet. We see this as omen, which will say that we will go through certain necessary events in order to reach our higher selves and connect with God. But yes, this is not an easy chart. The color of the comet is also not very easy to analyze, because you see not only one color, you see shining with multiple colors, and every color has specific astrological significance. So yes, the year is just difficult to describe. The whole year has so many events that we miss some to analyze. I actually, even if you wouldn't ask me to look at this comet, I wouldn't even do, because there's so many events to analyze that we miss half of them. So I would look mainly at eclipses, important conjunctions, appearance of stars and planets, of course, but the comet is part of the whole, and it is showing the same model of the year. It's like absolutely need for the truth, to open our eyes to the truth, because Saturn is this. Saturn is the Lord of the karma, the Lord of time. We have no time. We need to, he's the Lord of the limitations. He's the Lord of tears. He's the one who makes us sad. And Saturn Mars opposition are talking about serious fears that will be imposed if we allow, restrictions that we are aware of, and this is not over. The restrictions are not over. We will probably hear more about coming restrictions now when I look at this comet, and but this will also end soon, and we just need to remember that everything is happening for a reason, that it is allowed by the creator, and that we create our own reality. So for example, imagine Mars and Saturn are giving us these very hard influences of restrictions, of fears, violence, but if we get their very high vibrations, Mars can be beautiful and can give this good drive of the soul to reach higher goals. Saturn can be the higher vibrations of Saturn are not fears, are not imposing limitations, but are truth and high moral values. So it really, it is about creating our own reality. And I'm sure that we will go through this process, and depending on our perceptions, we will be either connected with our higher selves or very fearful and unhappy. So it all depends on us. So this was just to explain you how I see from a very ancient perspective the influence on mundane level of the comet, also to illustrate you which areas of the world will be influenced the most. And I think this will be Europe for sure. Many things will be happening in Europe. Truth will be coming out. People will be opposing these riots. Mars, remember, is there. Sudden changes will be imposed, surprisingly, because of Uranus participating in the horoscope. But then on the next first lunar appearance, March 2021, the picture will change slightly. So I hope this was interesting and informative. You can share, if you like, in the comment section, how do you see and how the celestial situation is currently influencing you. This would be interesting. Thank you.